Alright guys, what is going on? My name is Grant Lira.
I'm Joey Lemire.
And welcome to the Generation L podcast.
Yep.
So, this is the first episode of Generation L, and I just kind of want to break down the basics of this podcast for you guys. So, the basics of the podcast is to interview gym goers that are above average in physique, endurance, and or strength. We really want to emphasize the motivational elements and the ways that they overcome setbacks they encounter. We really want to dive into the training, diet, and general questions about their fitness lifestyle.
Right, so what we want to do is we want to provide everyday students with the ability and the knowledge to balance the gym, their social life, your schoolwork, or whatever you got going on in your life. We understand it gets difficult to balance all these, and Grant and I even struggle. We're starting this podcast to provide an outlet to give you insight on how these students maintain all three important pillars that a college student has to balance.
Alright, so for this first episode, in the future, obviously, we're going to have guests on. Let's kind of kick it off and get started so you guys know us a little bit better. Me and Joey are going to be answering the questions that we're going to ask the interviewees that we bring in.
Yes, sir.
So I think we'll get it kicked off then. You want to read the first question off and we'll dive into it.
All right. So, what got you into fitness? What was kind of the intro to your weightlifting career?
Yeah. So that's a funny story. For me, in high school, I was always into lifting weights and working out. You know, like an average high school kid was. I lifted weights, ate horribly, and I saw results off of it because I was in high school. But
hormones.
Exactly. But what really got me into it was after I got out of basic training with the Army. I spent about, give or take, 8 months in Fort Benning, Georgia. And after airborne school, one of my guys in my platoon came up to me, because I was in good shape going in. And he came up to me and he told me, "Hey, Lyra, looking good today, man. You're rocking the dad bod." And, dude, that got to me. I went to my rack and I sat there for a while and wallowed in my own sadness. And that was kind of my wake-up call. There was an awesome guy in my platoon who hopefully we can get on the show. And he kind of was my mentor, actually, in getting me to not only train, because that part, I kind of already knew, not as much as I know now, but I knew, how to lift weights. But it was the nutrition that was completely foreign to me. I didn't know what to eat, when to eat it, what to stay away from. And that was really what kicked off me getting into, diving into the rabbit hole of, all this fitness. And it's been great ever since. I absolutely love it. So going to you for that same question, Joey, what got you into fitness? What was your turning point?
Right, so I got into fitness and kind of working out because I played football. And my high school had a program where they would take 7th and 8th graders, bring them up to the high school for about an hour on Mondays and Wednesdays. And we work out, we train, we get ready for coming to high school and actually throwing up big weights. But now moving past that, now that I'm not in football anymore, during my freshman year, I struggled a little bit with the freshman 15, more like a freshman 30 in the first semester. That was rough. But eventually I got into it even more. I dug deep, and it's kind of changed my life now. I really enjoy it. I want to make this a career of mine. So I can't wait to get moving on it.
And I've seen your progress firsthand. You lost a crazy amount of weight. You eating right, working out. Yeah, really outstanding.
Honestly, I thank you quite a bit, actually, for the nutrition.
Yeah, right back at you, brother. We got the motivation. We got it going here.
Yeah.
So moving on to the next topic. What do you train for? Powerlifting, bodybuilding, endurance, CrossFit, whatever. What do you train for?
Right. Well, right now I am bodybuilding. Just kind of fixing up, just because I was so big. I started my diet or cut or whatever you want to call it at about 248. And I started February of last year, so 2018. And by March, I think it was 16th, I set a goal to get to 186. 62 pounds, here I am now.
Hell yeah, dude. That's what it's all about, man. That's awesome.
It feels wonderful. But, now that I have an internship here at a gym, and I've kind of since I want to train athletes, I've started to change my programming around and how I work out to almost like athletic performance. Obviously, I still got bodybuilding in there just because I'm working on my physique, but my goal is to dunk. That's
yes, yes.
5'8" guy flying through the air would be pretty cool. But,
absolutely.
What about you? What do you train for? What's your motivation there?
So like you, I do train for bodybuilding as well. I've been training for that. You know, it's for me, it has been more about the physique than anything,
right?
Because I did come from when I had the dad bod going on. I was fluffy, man. I was not looking good. It was because when I got out of Airborne school, which is where I put all the weight on, I came out of there almost 200 pounds. I think I was 196, 197, somewhere in there.
Where you at now?
Right. Well, right now, 172 to 175, anywhere in there. I just came off a cut where I got down to 172, and I felt really good in that. It was a short cut. It was good. It was a good fat loss cut. Right. I felt good on that cut. But it was really, coming from the dad bod, just wanting to look better in general. Not wanting to look like a dad bod.
Some people say dad bod is the most,
dude, yeah,
the greatest form of all time.
that's a big fact. There's a lot of people that do not like the big, the shredded physique and all that stuff. So if you're trying to get girls, a lot of times stick with the dad bod.
What's funny about Grant and his dad bod? We every time we bring it up, he always cowers away. No, I wasn't crying.
I was crying on the inside. Come on.
He still does.
Yeah.
But all right. So moving on there now. What would you say has been your biggest impact in your progression in regards to fitness?
Yeah, 100% diet. Eating clean. Sticking to foods with ingredients that are as simple as possible, cutting out a lot of the processed foods, and to be honest with you, tracking macros. As soon as I started tracking macros, I knew exactly what I was eating, how much of my carbs, proteins, fats I was getting, how many calories I was getting, and if I wasn't seeing results or what I wanted to see, I was able to manipulate my macronutrients to see those results. So tracking macros, diet, in my opinion, is the most effective thing that I have done to, transform my physique.
Okay. I mean, that same question for me. So beginning, in my freshman year, the first semester, I just made way too many excuses. I would tell myself I was going to go to the gym, and I just never would. I went probably 2 to 3 times a week, and I was eating the dining hall food.
Yep.
That's never good. And when I would go, it's 2 to 3 plates, maxing out, and eventually I always felt like I was in shape because of where I came from and who I was. But I always looked in the mirror, and I never really saw the weight get added on, just because it's so gradual and you never notice it. But honestly, my biggest impact was to just stop making excuses and go get it.
Yeah.
I just quit whining and crying about who I was and what I was doing, and I just fixed it up.
And I think that's awesome, man. Everyone at one point in their, lifting, fitness life has, had those motivation issues, and yeah, it is definitely a gradual, building up of weight where you won't notice it at first, but you might walk past the mirror one day and be like, wow, I need to change something.
There's some old videos we got, just of us messing around in the dorm rooms.
Yeah.
And you can you can see the weight that's been put on, the weight that's been lost now.
Especially with you in your face, obviously your body, looking back at those videos to me is insane because you almost look like a different person.
Right.
It is impressive.
Yeah. It feels awesome. It feels wonderful.
So right now, what does your training look like? What are your splits? What kind of style do you do? Your duration you're in the gym, your volume, your intensity. What does an average workout for Joey Lemire look like?
Ooh, an average workout.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I kind of mix it up every once in a while. I do a lot. I did a hypertrophy, which is about 4 sets, quite a lot of reps at not that high of a weight. and just kind of repping it out and getting that sweat going and kind of burning the muscles up. I like to switch it up. I've gone into a strength phase where I'm going 4x4, maybe a 2x6 and 2x4. Honestly, it really depends on the week and how I'm feeling. I usually try to separate those into like 2 to 3 week increments or blocks. So I'll go 3 weeks of hypertrophy. I'll switch it up, and then I'll go maybe 2 to 3 weeks in the strength block, and then I'll just kind of hop back and forth depending on how I'm feeling. The intensity when I'm in there, I'm working.
Yeah.
That's the goal. Obviously, there's people that you see that you know, you stop and talk to.
For sure.
I mean, I like to talk to people I know, but it's a big distraction for me. I would like to cut that down, but it's just you can't really do anything about it. So when I'm hitting the weights, like when I'm actually working out, like I will go as hard as I can, just until I burn out and or kind of keel over and die.
Yeah. No, I like that, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So, well, same question for you. What's your training look like?
So my training actually has remained pretty much the same since I think now it's almost 4 years since I kind of got into this lifestyle. Basically, I do a bro split. I do chest, legs, back, shoulders, arms. With chest, legs, back, rest, shoulders, arms, rest. And I am training for hypertrophy. I'm up in the 8 to 15 rep ranges. I do a lot of drop sets. I think that really helps with the hypertrophy, getting the muscles a little more torn up.
Right.
For me personally, I used to have a huge problem with my duration in the gym.
Right.
I would go in, come out, it'd be, almost 2.5, 3 hours.
Right.
And I mean, that's just way too long.
Yeah.
At that point, you're either on your phone talking to people or you're just straight up overtraining.
Right.
So
Destroying your muscles.
Now I get in, out. My goal is under an hour and 15 minutes, and I've gotten good at that. It's more intense for sure.
Right.
Less rest.
Right.
I'm hitting my reps. I'm giving it a few, until I feel like I can go again, and then I'm not lollygagging around, and I'll knock them out. Once my strength training's done, I switch off every day between core and cardio.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of the HIIT cardio.
I like to stay away from cardio.
Yeah, I do too, man. It's a suck fest, but it's beneficial. Like
right.
There's a lot of benefits for cardio, and
sure.
I like the jump rope, HIIT cardio. That's my favorite. For my ab days, every day that I do abs, I'll switch.
You said doo.
So I'll go from weighted ab stuff one day.
Yeah.
To just standard floor stuff the next. So it's, I want to keep it fresh. I want to not get myself into that state of I'm bored in the gym, I'm doing the same thing all the time. So that last, 10 to 25 minutes where I do core cardio is kind of how I mix it up in the gym and keep it fresh for me so I'm not doing the same thing every single day.
And that's what I try to do with the weights. As Arnold would say, you got to shock the muscle.
Absolutely.
Kind of target different fibers, different compounds, different muscle groups, and that's really where you're going to see a lot more of those typical gains.
Yeah.
Just kind of getting different serrations and different fibers working. It's very beneficial to change up what you're doing and how you're doing it.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree.
Mm-hmm. So now the diet. This is where you go crazy.
Yeah.
This is grand stuff right here. So
God.
when we get into those fitness segments and we start talking about nutrition, you're gonna want to listen to this guy. He knows what he's doing.
I've made a lot of mistakes in my diet in the past. I've definitely
Haven't
learned
we
from
all?
them. Yeah, no shit. Made a lot of mistakes. Learned from one of the biggest mentors that I've had is Joe Michael Paul. He has taught me so much about nutrition, and he is really what I credit a lot of my knowledge of nutrition to. Now, with that being said, freshman year, I had a lot of downtime. So I was on YouTube, I was on Google, and I was literally almost, whenever I had a little bit of free time and we weren't doing something, I would be on the internet looking up what to eat, how to set up my macros to myself and what to stay away from. And to be honest, that was good. It was really nice to kind of see what other people were doing with that and how they set their stuff up. But when it comes down to you, I would say pick something that you can adhere to and stick with it and adjust as necessary. Give it like two or 3 weeks where you don't change it at all. And if you're not seeing the results you want, then start messing with calories or, macronutrients or whatever. But my diet right now, I eat the same thing every single day. A lot of people say that, that'll get boring, but for me, it's worth it. I don't look at it as food. I look at it as fuel. Mm-hmm. And I have cheat days. Like, I have cheat days, dude.
Right.
Like,
Wing Wednesdays?
Yeah, Wing Wednesdays. We go to Who Hut, max out at Who Hut.
Yeah.
Maybe once a month, if that. Not often, but, I do have them, and I love to eat.
Cheat days are great just to reset the diet
and
kind of get your body to refuel and get some of the crap you don't want.
Yeah, exactly.
But,
exactly.
I mean,
it's good for the mental too. It keeps you, on your game. You have something to look forward to.
Exactly.
But my diet right now, I eat very clean. I try to stay away from all processed foods. Keep my proteins high. Keep my carbs, right up there in check. I like to get a lot of good fats. I think that fats are so important for hormones and just fueling your body. Same with carbs. I'm big into nutrient timing. I have probably 80% of my carbs before and after my workout, to help fuel, and then after to help recover. And it's really, for me, just been a journey of seeing what works for me, how my body reacts to it, and what I can adhere to. Mm-hmm. So going off that question, Joey, what does your diet look like? What do you eat? How do you adhere to it?
My diet, it's not quite as strict as Grant's.
mine's stupid strict. I'm not gonna lie. Mine's very, very structured.
So I have 8 a.m.s. Not fun. Mm-mm. So, and I'm busy all day, so I'm up till 1, 2 a.m. So I don't really get up in time to make myself a nice breakfast. So what I do, I grab a granola bar on the way out. I'll go to my classes. I'll come home. I'll whip up either oats, some eggs, maybe some peanut butter, honey, banana sandwich, and then I'll go to the gym. After the gym, I'll have a high calorie dense lunch because I go from my internship at about 2:30 till about 8:30. I don't get home till about 9 o'clock, and then that's when I'll have a cleaner meal towards the end of the night. So I'll do a rice and some source of protein, whether that be ground turkey, chicken, and obviously you got to find room for the veggies and the micronutrients.
Don't want to overlook them.
Right. And I mean, sure, there's weekends where I go out and kind of throw away the diet, and I'll order toppers and I mess around a little bit and kind of screw it up. Screw it up, not necessarily screwing it up, but I have a few more cheat days than I would like. But I mean, whatever works for you, what works for Timmy isn't going to work for you. Mm-hmm. Everyone's different. And as long as you kind of maintain that and keep it in balance, keep it in check, you'll be able to see the results that you're looking for.
And like you're saying, man, we're in college.
Right.
This isn't our full-time job.
Right.
This is something we do to better ourselves. It's a hobby. Mm-hmm. It's a lifestyle for us. Exactly. Absolutely.
Right.
And I'm saying it's hard, when you're in college, to stay on that strict meal plan when your friends are all going out, they're drinking, they're eating whatever, it's hard to say, hey man, look, I'm on my cut right now, I gotta do that, because you're gonna get laughed at. 10 out of 10 times you're gonna get laughed at.
Yeah.
And it's how you take it, you can just be like, well, whatever, man, I don't care.
Yeah.
And it's harder in college for sure, because you are with your friends who do not adhere to the same lifestyle.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. It's just who they are. It's what they do. And I mean, you got to respect what they do, and they respect what you do. But obviously, jokes come into play, and you got to take it for how it is, and take it for how you want to.
So, do you ever change your diet on different training phases, different parts of your life, or does it stay the same basically?
When I can tell I had a long day in the gym, and I work really hard, like especially on leg days. I'll try to source in more protein, more carbs, just to kind of rebuild the muscle that you tore apart, and especially when I'm doing like eccentric movements. Yeah, and we'll get into that later. Like I said, when we get those fitness segments going.
Yeah, we're gonna do a segment on that for sure.
Right. Eccentric training is something special. Creates more of an explosive athlete. It's a great movement. It can prevent injuries as well. But when you're doing those eccentric movements, you get more damage and more tears to your muscle fibers and muscle cells, and so you got to fuel your body with what you put out, right? So if you're working really, really hard and you can tell you're going to be sore the next day, double up on your protein shake. Do 2 servings of chicken. Like I don't know, just find another way to get more protein in your body, just so that you can fuel it.
Sure. So like for me, I do basically 3 phases of my diet. I have my maintenance, my bulking, my cutting, right? So really the only thing that's changing in all those is in my bulking phase, I just up my calories. It's simple as that. Keep my macro split the same. In my maintenance phase, I am lowering those calories back down, same split. In my cutting phase, in the first phase, I'll just start taking away calories. And then once I'm down to where I want to be for calories, about that last month or 2 months of the cut, I'll start to manipulate my carbs. Because I'm very carb sensitive.
Yep.
So when I add or take away carbs, my body composition changes. So carbs for me are the key to kind of balancing body fat.
Right.
That works really well for me. And that's kind of how I change my diet depending on what phase of my diet I'm in.
Grant's been getting on me for a while now to count my macros. It's hard. You gotta create a habit. You really do.
And it's a lot of dedication too. You know, I mean, like I just went on spring break. You know, I brought my food scale. Obviously, I wasn't doing every single meal, but the meals that I could control, 100%. I'm trying to stay to my diet, counting my macros, trying to hit them, and then estimating at dinner. You know, a rough estimate. Say, that's probably 100 grams of carbs. It's probably 70 grams of protein, whatever. You know,
and right when you start out, you're not gonna. It's gonna be hard to tell how much 100 carbs is and how much 70. But once you eventually keep going on your diet and eventually notice how much 92 grams of rice is, and you're able to kind of eyeball it now.
Yes.
Like once you get into it more, and you start seeing it on a consistent basis.
Yep.
So
very cool. So Joey, what were some of the setbacks that you had to face, and how'd you overcome them?
Right. So, oh man, there's quite a few.
Yeah, it's that's a broad topic.
Video games got in the way.
Sure.
A lot. I mean, let's see what. So, video games, dining hall food. I didn't really have any injuries, but I make excuses in my own head. Got in my way most of the time. Is what that was. Time management. Coming into freshman year, time management was a real struggle for me. But I've kind of narrowed that down. I've fixed it up, and I'm able to. I've set out times where I go to the gym. I got times where I do homework. I've set out time for the internship. You just got to figure out what works for you.
Yeah.
Honestly, I overcame them just by looking in the mirror one day, and I called myself out on it. And you just got to know when something's going wrong. And eventually I figured it out. One day I was working out up in Green Bay. That's my hometown, by the way. Go Pack, go.
Yep.
So I was working out with my buddy Levi, and we were doing legs. Rough day.
Yeah, it is always. Always a rough day.
But I literally just broke down in the gym, and I just cried to him just because I was so upset with who I was and kind of where I led myself. After football, I was about 215. I got down to about 205. I had a nice physique going on, and then I gained about 30, 40 pounds during the first semester of my freshman year.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of ridiculous how it just happens like that.
And that's the thing, man. Like you got to be honest with yourself, you know, because you can say whatever you want to other people.
Yep.
But if you haven't realized yourself, you know, that you are committed to making this change now, it is something you want, it is something that you're going to achieve, it's not going to happen. You have to be 100% in it, and you need to want it. You know, it's a drive you have to have.
Right. It's all about the mindset.
Yeah.
It starts with your head.
Yeah, it does, 100%.
Mental health, very important.
Yeah.
Some people don't say it is, but it's a struggle. It's tough.
You got to make sure your head's right. You got to make sure your head's in
That's where it all starts.
Yes.
What about you? How about some setbacks that you would have faced?
So, Yeah, besides the dad bod that we've already talked about, and somehow we can't let go. One of the one I want to talk about, also freshman year. This was probably about a little under. Actually, no, it was about a year after the dad bod situation that we won't talk about for the rest of this podcast.
Are you sure?
Yeah, it was when my diet was horrible.
Yep.
It was super clean food, but I went about it all wrong. I was eating about 2,400 calories a day, right? And out of those 2,400 calories, 350 grams of protein, 120 carbs, and I think 90 something fats, right? And that's all rough, that's not exact. I don't remember.
Yep.
But here's the thing, right? I looked fantastic. I could see, veins in my lower, abs. My pumps were great in the gym. I felt really, I looked really good. I was very happy with how I looked. And that was cool, except for the fact that I was in that cut, or that calorie deficit, for about 7 months. So with that being said, when you cut carbs for that long, you start to mess with your hormones. And for me, I got unmotivated. My drive completely went away. I was lazy and I felt like shit. I had a mental fog in my head the whole time. I felt like I was always for lack of a better word, I felt like I was always hungover. I didn't feel good, but I looked fine. I was happy with how I looked. Right. And to me, it never clicked that it was my diet that was doing this. Yeah. And 125 grams of carbs a day was what was causing this. So I got smart, luckily, after talking to Paul, my buddy I mentioned earlier, the guy who I talked to about a lot of my nutrition stuff, who's helped me so much. When I talked to him about it, he was like, dude, your split is crazy. It's nuts. And especially for you to do it that wrong, you damage your metabolism, you damage your hormones. You need to start building that back up, because you've done damage to it. And he was right, man. My metabolism went way low. Hormones were all out of whack. Felt horrible. So my biggest mistake, it was 100% the diet. That was just jumping into it, not knowing. I think hearing somewhere on the internet, carbs make you fat, is what made me go into that state. That was definitely just how I felt, the lowest point in my life. Just felt horrible. So
diet is the most important thing you can do.
Yeah,
I promise you that. I will double stamp that with a double guarantee. It is the most important thing.
Not even in just fitness. I'm talking mental clarity. Your ability to focus, how you perform tasks, your attention.
Right.
I mean, it all stems back to what you're giving your body to fuel it.
Right. It makes you feel better. You look better. You carry yourself in a better way. You're able to be you.
Yes.
And feel comfortable with who you are.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%.
Right. So, is there one setback that really stands out to you, more than others in shaping your lifestyle?
Yeah, I think I'll just reiterate the eating the wrong split.
Yeah. Right.
One thing I would say would probably be not giving injuries the proper attention and time to recover. When I was a younger, more go get 'em, me just, oh, it hurts, that's just pain, don't listen to it, you're stronger than that.
Pain is weakness leaving the body.
Stupid. Do not have that mindset, because you will jack yourself up even further. And then, worst case scenario, you're out of the gym for a month, you're out of the gym for a year. Pay attention to your injuries, focus on recovery, baby the body part if you have to. There's no shame in it. And that was a big stigma for me. If I start going lighter on my squat because my MCLs is starting to hurt, I'm going to be looked at like I'm, soft or whatever. And I mean, dude, that is one of the stupidest things you can do. Pay attention to your injuries, stretch, roll, recover. Do not neglect your body. Right. Because you're pushing it hard in the gym and you want to be able to keep pushing it for as long as you can, right? We want to lift past our 20s.
Oh, well.
I want to live past my 20s. So make sure that you are not only planning for longevity.
24.
but you're just you're making sure that you are able to sustain what you're doing for a long time.
Right. Yep. For me, honestly, this one comes after freshman year. So our first semester of sophomore year, I was so focused on how I looked and who I was, what I was eating, how long I would be in the gym. I forgot about everything else, and I solely focused on my physique and how I carried myself. I took it so far that there was weeks I'd be skipping classes. I'd be playing video games constantly. It just got to a point where mentally I was destroyed. I was just so worried about what others thought. I was so worried about who I was going to be. I was so worried about where I was going with my future, my life. And I called my dad, and I talked to him for about an hour on the phone. I broke down again. I know a lot of these stories are me crying. I'm emotional, all right? But I was lost. I didn't know who I was, so I had to refocus. I had to reset, and I had to recalibrate essentially. And that setback, fighting through that adversity, has changed me now. It's given me a drive like no other, not just in fitness, but mentally, with schoolwork, with my future, my career, who I want to be, who I want to become. I've recalibrated and I've locked in.
Yeah.
And y'all better watch out.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. The focus
is dangerous now.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. That's a good point. So if you had to give some advice to a beginner in the gym, brand new guy in the gym lifting, what would you say?
Don't be timid.
Yeah.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Go to people in the gym who look nice.
Yeah.
There's some guys that have that kind of, or guys or girls who have that mean glare to them when they're working out. Don't go up to them. They probably don't want to talk. Look for someone who looks like they're having fun, maybe dancing around, smiling a little bit, and just kind of ask them questions and get their input. Everybody has a different style. Everybody is different in the way they train.
Yep.
And there's so much new stuff that's going to happen in the fitness world. There's always something new coming up.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So just ask questions. Don't be scared.
I love that. I'll keep mine short. If I had to tell, a newbie in the gym a piece of advice, I would say, get your diet in check. Do not overtrain. Make sure you're recovering properly, and do not baby your injuries. You got an injury, take care of it. Don't let it get worse. You're not going to be able to perform in the gym if you're broken. So fix it.
Right.
So that's what I would say.
So now, Grant, how do you maintain a life balance of fitness, work, school, and your social life?
Yeah. So for me, it's about, I like to get my workouts done in the morning as soon as I can, as soon as I have that free time. Go into the gym, get my workout in, and then the rest of the day is getting homework done. Work if I got it, and eating. So for me, with the social aspect, it is harder because I don't like to eat junk food. When I drink, I don't feel good. I don't like it. I like to drink, but it's an issue for me because in the back of my mind, as crazy as it sounds, I'm thinking like, oh, dude, you worked this hard for the progress you made. And you want to throw it out, to get drunk, and that's the hard part, especially in college for me, is doing that. But everything in moderation, dude, is in my opinion okay. Just as soon as you get done with that, you're back on track and you're grinding just like you were before.
Right.
Do not let a little setback or speed bump in the road derail your whole day, your whole week, or your entire plan that you set out.
You might have lost the battle, but you haven't lost the war yet.
No, exactly.
So now, for
your
me,
social life,
correct.
Work, school, how do you balance it?
It gets very difficult at times.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah.
So we got classes.
Yep.
We got homework.
Oh my god, yeah.
We got to work out, obviously.
Of course.
Especially arm day.
Oh god, yeah.
Just had arm day, by the way. Nice pump. But And then with the internship on top of it, I've created a schedule that works for me. I go to classes, I go work out right away, and then I have about 30 minutes to shower, eat, and get to the gym. It's a constant grind, and you just have to love it.
No, absolutely.
You have to trust the process, as cliche as it is.
Mm-hmm.
You just find something that works for you, stick with it for 21 days, you create a habit, and you literally just fall in love with it and crave it more and more every day you wake up.
And I mean, I can attest to that. I see Joey, you know, when he comes in from wherever he's at, he comes in, he changes, he goes to the gym, he comes back, he showers, or he comes back, he eats, he showers.
Can't miss the anabolic window.
We'll talk about that in another episode.
Yes, sir.
But he's on track. You know, he gets his stuff done. He's grinding at it, and he's making it work for him with the time he has. And that's the biggest thing. Make it work for you.
Mm-hmm. And even though I'm busy, I find times to just kind of sit down for an hour and just go through my phone on everything I missed during the day, watch TV, play video games, whatever that happens to be for the day. I find time to kind of de-stress and relax. But what's awesome about the internship that I have right now, shout out GTS.
Yep.
Honestly, it's something I want to do after I graduate. So it's not even like work for me. It's not even hard for me to get up and go to the gym at GTS anyways. It's just something that I've fallen in love with, that I crave it literally every day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's incredible.
That's awesome, man.
So now, what would be something that you would tell yourself if you could go back in time to regards to fitness?
If I could go back in time and tell myself one thing to fitness, in a more slapstick way, I would say, hey, eat more carbs. You're an idiot. Do more research. You're stupid. You feel horrible right now. How do you think that this is good? That's what I would say. But the thing I would actually, tell myself is be patient. Like you said, trust the process, dude. Everything takes time. You're not going to see what you want to see in a month or a week or whatever. It's going to take time.
Right.
Be patient. Don't let, any negativity block your process because, I had people when I first got back and I started working out again, started eating right, I still was holding a lot of weight. You could see it, my face, my body. And I had a guy, come up to me at work and he was like, hey, one of my good friends too, I really like this guy. He goes, hey man, you still working out? And I was like, oh shit. And that one hurt a little bit. I was like, yeah, I'm still working out. And I mean, I could have easily, dwelled on that and been like, oh, woe is me. No one thinks I work out anymore. But no, I'm going to show them that, I am working out, because I'm getting it. I'm chasing after it, dude. And
yes, sir.
You wait, you'll see. I will, achieve my goal that I want to achieve.
Yep. So, for me, I would just tell myself, watch what you eat.
Yeah, sure.
Like, honestly, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be clean.
No. No.
Substitute chips for carrots.
Yeah.
Like, substitute, I don't know, just watch what you eat. Have it in portions. When you're eating chips, put it in a bowl. Don't eat straight from the bag. Yeah. You'll just keep munching until you realize all of a sudden the bag's gone.
Drink water.
Yeah, a lot of water.
Yeah.
Just be conscious of how you grow and how you present yourself each and every day.
Yeah.
I struggle with carrying myself, and it showed. Like, I eventually put on the LBs, and it was a struggle for me to get back down to where I was.
Because, I mean, man, you know how fast, 5, 6, 2,000 calories can come up, and you don't even know it.
Right.
You have a whole bag of the trail mix or whatever, man. Oh, my God. I mean, you're done for the day. Like, that's it. So, if you don't know, you're like, what's in there, how many calories, what the macros are. You're none the wiser. You're just eating it thinking, oh, it's nuts. It's healthy, Right. It's not what it's about. But, so I think that's going to wrap it up for us today. Yeah. This episode's going to be a little longer because we basically did 2 interviews. We did me and Joey.
Right.
So it's going to be a little longer, but we wanted to give you guys a feel of what this podcast is going to be like and what you can look out for in the future.
Correct.
So, closing remarks, Joey?
I love you all.
Yeah.
Generation L's coming.
Generation L, baby.
Y'all better watch out.
All right, we'll see you around.